What's happening? No matter how hard I try, my apartment key won't work. I've just returned from a business trip, only to find myself locked out. I try calling Randy, who should be home, but there's no answer. Peering through a cracked window, I see that the apartment is empty. I'm certain I'm at the right place, so where is everything? Where did Randy go? Panicked, I head to my in-laws' house, and there's Randy. When I arrive, Randy looks at me and asks, "Who are you?" I'm stunned as Randy smirks at me with an unsettling sense of triumph. The situation is one I never could have anticipated. My name is Sharon, I'm 32, and I'm a working housewife living with Randy. We've been married for 3 years. Randy and I were once fierce competitors at work. Though he was a tough rival, he was also my greatest supporter. It wasn't long before we started dating, and we got engaged after a year. However, as we were about to register our marriage, Randy dropped a bombshell. "Sharon, I'm thinking of quitting my job after we get married." What? Why would you quit your job? I've been contemplating this for a while. I want to use my experience to start my own company. Your own company? Yes, I want to venture into something bigger. Please, let me try. His sincerity was palpable, but I was at a loss. I wanted to support Randy, but quitting his job to start a business seemed like a huge risk. We're married now, and I want to have children someday. Was it necessary to jeopardize our stable life? I couldn't voice my concerns to Randy. In the end, he quit his job right after our wedding and used all our savings to start a staffing agency. People say, "Wow, Randy's incredible. Aren't you proud? Your husband is a CEO." But I don't feel that way at all. My female colleagues, especially my good friend Marilyn, share my sentiments. Starting a business right after getting married is too risky. I agree, Marilyn. I wanted to object, but I couldn't. Be careful, Sharon. Randy tends to push things through on a whim. I've seen him make mistakes at work because of it. You'll need to keep a close watch. I will. I'll support him as much as I can. But the truth is, entrepreneurship is foreign to me. Why did Randy suddenly choose to start a staffing agency? Randy never gave me a clear answer. Though he was once competent at his job, his business ideas seemed to falter after he quit. The company struggled with high labor costs and minimal work. With so many staffing agencies available online, his face-to-face approach was ill-advised. Randy's business quickly ran out of funds, and employees started quitting. Eventually, he turned to me for help. "Sharon, can you lend me $20,000? $20,000. Do you have any idea how much that is?" "I do, but I need it to pay the employees." "That may be true, but it's not my problem. You're my wife." "Are you saying it's not your problem? You committed to a lifetime together, didn't you?" "Yes." "Then you should help me when I'm in trouble." Randy spoke as if he was in the right. I was at a loss for words, unable to meet his cold gaze. Over the next few days, Randy's demands grew, accompanied by insults like, "This is your fault. You didn't support me. You need to cover the shortfall." I faced daily beratings and even some physical aggression. I began to wonder if it was my fault. A year into our marriage, Randy's company was on the verge of bankruptcy. My savings had been drained, spent on propping up his failing business. Still, Randy refused to shut it down and instead turned to his parents for help. My father-in-law is an average office worker, and my mother-in-law is a homemaker. They don't have much to spare, but they couldn't ignore their desperate son. In the end, they mortgaged their house to lend him the money. I was horrified. Would any parent really risk their home for their child? My fears were realized when Randy's company went bankrupt within 6 months, leaving us with nothing but debt. After the bankruptcy, Randy seemed to lose all motivation. He began spending his days lounging around the house, and I couldn't stand it any longer. I confronted him several times. "Randy, we're not exactly swimming in money. I've used up all my savings. Can you please find a job?" "What? How can you be so cold? I'm devastated after losing the company. This isn't the right time for that. We owe money to your parents. They'll be fine. Their house is the collateral. Do you even understand what that means? If this continues, they'll lose their home. It doesn't concern us. My parents are older now, maybe this will be their chance to finally be useful. I can't believe you're thinking like this. I never imagined you'd turn out to be so selfish. From that moment on, cracks began to appear in our marriage. It had been about 6 months since Randy's company went under, and he showed no inclination to find a job. He worked occasional day labor but spent all his earnings on himself. Meanwhile, I was scraping by, depleting my savings, and cutting corners just to make ends meet. One day, during a work break, my mother-in-law called. "Hi, Sharon. I'm sorry for the sudden call, but I need to talk to you." "Hello, mother-in-law. What's going on? Can you lend us some money? If we can't repay the loan by the end of the month, we'll lose our house." My worst fears seemed to be coming true. I told her, "Let me think about it. I've already spoken to Randy, but he said, I don't have any money. If you lose the house, so be it." "What? What are we going to do, Sharon?" "We'll lose our home." "Calm down. I have an idea." After ending the call, I immediately reached out to my father. "Hey, Dad, it's Sharon. Oh, it's been a while. How are you?" "I'm okay, but there's a problem." "What happened?" "Randy's company went bankrupt, and now his parents might lose their house." "What? Why?" I went on to explain the entire situation. My father agreed to help us financially. Despite Randy's clear faults, my dad said, "He is the man you chose, and chose not to blame me." As a wealthy real estate investor, my father's rental income alone provides him with a significant amount of money. Growing up, I never had to worry about finances. It was only after I got married and became financially independent that I encountered money problems, thanks to Randy's mismanagement. I felt guilty accepting my father's help, but it was necessary to save my in-laws. I kept this aid a secret from Randy and transferred the money directly to my in-laws. Why didn't I tell Randy? I had only mentioned that my dad works in real estate. I feared that if Randy knew about my father's wealth, he would start making demands for money. If that happened, it would spell the end of our marriage. To avoid resentment and protect my parents and in-laws, I chose to keep my father's financial status a secret and continue my relationship with Randy. When I informed my mother-in-law about my father's help, she responded with relief, "Are you sure? You and your father have saved us. It's fine." I'd rather avoid any unnecessary drama, I assured her. "All right, if you say so, we'll repay the money, even if it takes time. Don't worry, I'll assist with that as well." "Thank you, Sharon, you've been a lifesaver." Her voice trembled with gratitude over the phone. I was relieved to have been able to help her, despite the tough situation. However, Randy's behavior continued to deteriorate. He became increasingly absent from home and would dismiss my inquiries with, "None of your business," yet still demanded money for groceries. I had to leave for a 3-day business trip. Although I was anxious, I also felt a sense of relief. 3 days without dealing with Randy's presence. When I returned, my anticipation to get home was overshadowed by dread. As I tried to unlock the door, something felt off. The key wouldn't work no matter how many times I tried. Randy wasn't answering my calls. I seemed to be locked out. What if Randy wasn't home? I couldn't get inside. Peering through the peephole, I saw the apartment was empty. This couldn't be the wrong house. But where was my stuff? Where had Randy gone? Panicking, I forgot to call the management company and reached out to my parents instead, but they didn't answer. So, I decided to head to my in-laws' house, bringing the souvenir I had bought. When I arrived, Randy was there. "Randy, what are you doing here?" My mother-in-law spoke first. He showed up unexpectedly, asking to stay for a few days. "What? Randy, what's going on?" I couldn't get into our apartment. Randy smirked and looked down at me. "Who are you?" "What?" I was stunned, but Randy's smirk remained. I managed to ask, "What are you talking about, Randy? What about the house keys? Isn't it clear? I've moved out. That house. Oh, and by the way, we're already divorced. I've got a new girlfriend now, so you should just leave." "A new girlfriend?" Shocked, my mind went blank as Randy shoved his phone screen in front of me. There he was, smiling and hugging a young woman. At that moment, everything felt meaningless, and I lost the ability to think clearly. "Fine, whatever, This marriage was over a long time ago. I sank to the floor, feeling defeated, while Randy looked down at me with a smug grin. Suddenly, a loud smack echoed through the room. Randy was knocked to the ground by a slap from his mother. Mother, what are you doing? What have you done, Randy? What do you mean, what have I done? I left a useless wife and now I'm planning to marry my new girlfriend. His mother's face turned a deep shade of red as she trembled with anger. Randy, do you really not know? Know what? That you have this life because of Sharon. What? When your business was failing and this house was on the brink of foreclosure, Sharon asked her father for a loan. My father-in-law did what? Randy's shock was palpable, clearly stunned by the revelation. His mother didn't hold back. And yet you, how much more trouble do you need to cause before you're satisfied? Sharon even helped us with the repayments. No way, Sharon did all that for me. You betrayed such a wonderful person. If you have time to dote on another woman, why don't you spend some time working? Aren't you ashamed of burdening your wife and parents at your age? You are no longer our son. Leave now, and you will be responsible for repaying all the debt yourself. But Mom, tears streamed down Randy's face as he began to plead, clearly rattled by his mother's words. His father grabbed his arm and started to drag him away. Randy turned to me, desperation in his eyes. Sharon, I was wrong. Please, help me out here. Help you out? How? Just pay off my debt for now, and then we can start over as a couple, okay? You've already filed for divorce, haven't you? Well, we can reapply for a marriage license. I shot Randy a cold, steely glare. Then, to address all the past grievances, I firmly replied, don't be ridiculous. Reapply for a marriage license? How selfish can you be? I've worked tirelessly to support you, only to have you betray me, your own parents, and even have an affair. No, I won't do that. I'll break up with her. I don't care. Your apologies mean nothing now. I was a fool for ever trying to help you. Remarry your mistress if you want. But know this, I will never forgive you. I hope you struggle with your massive debt for the rest of your life. Sharon, wait, please, His pleas were abruptly cut off as his father-in-law forcibly ejected him from the house. We locked the door behind him, making it clear he was never welcome back. I then reached out to a lawyer to demand repayment for the money I had lent him. Given the massive debt from Randy's failed business, the total amount was staggering. Randy's parents disowned him and removed him from their will, ensuring that he would inherit nothing if something happened to them. In the end, Randy lost not only his home but also his support network. Even his mistress grew tired of him and vanished. He got what he deserved. A man who lived solely for himself faced the consequences of his actions. As for me, I moved back in with my parents after the divorce. They are concerned for me, having just come out of a failed marriage. But honestly, I have no regrets. I have a stable job and a loving family who stands by me. That alone makes me feel truly blessed. From now on, I'm determined to live my life fully for the people who genuinely care about me.